Yesterday morning, our community suffered a great setback with the election of Donald Trump and Mike Pence as our country's new leaders. For those who don't know, Governor Pence is a conservative Christian who believes in conversion therapy. And Trump has already announced that he is going to repeal all of Obama's executive orders as well as the Affordable Care Act. Unfortunately, right now, school districts across the country are locked in a legal battle over Title IX protecting transgender youth, and with a conservative Supreme Court, there's a very real chance that we're going to lose that battle. There's even a chance that we may lose the ability to access transition entirely if the Family Research Council's 5-point plan comes to pass. My transgender friends on Facebook are admittedly in a state of panic. Over the last 24 hours, I've seen 2 suicide threats, 1 person who was seriously considering detransitioning, and many others who were considering going stealth to avoid discrimination. Understandably, many of you watching this video are probably feeling the same way. It's very tempting to give up, or to disappear, because it seems like we've lost all hope of being treated as equal citizens. But that's why I am sitting here tonight, because I want to address directly those who are in despair and those who are feeling hopeless. I'm here to tell you, we will make it. We'll get through this and we'll survive. And hope is not lost. Because let me tell you something. This has happened before, and it has happened much worse before. It was less than 100 years ago that a group of human beings endured much worse and survived a program of government-sponsored discrimination. Look at the Civil Rights Movement. Look at the Jim Crow laws. Our government turned its back on the African American communities of the South and said, yes, it is completely legal for businesses to deny you service and to treat you like a second-class citizen. And what did they do about it? They resisted. They stood up and said, we are men, and our Constitution says that all men are created equal. They staged protests, they challenged and broke the discrimination laws because those laws were inherently unethical. When the government said move, they said we shall not be moved. When businesses legally denied them service, they demanded service. And when they were threatened with imprisonment and death, they kept fighting so that all would not have to suffer a psychological death. I'm telling you, as a member of the trans community, speaking to the trans community and the LGBT community, it's time to protest. If the worst really does happen and they try to take away your rights, ignore them. Keep doing what you as the citizen of the United States have a constitutional right to do. And if we keep fighting, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hopeless it may seem, no matter how many unconstitutional laws we have to fight through, eventually we will win. We shall overcome. We shall overcome because the Constitution is on our side, because it says that all men are created equal and are endowed with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We shall overcome because Mike Pence is wrong. The Bible does not say to cast judgment and discrimination on those you deem to be sinners. It says, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. It says, love your neighbor as yourself. It says, blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the peacemakers. It says, do not repay evil for evil, but overcome evil with good. We shall overcome because science is on our side, because it is shown that we are valid and that transition is a life-saving medical treatment again and again. We shall overcome because this is the truth. We know it to be the truth, science says it's the truth, and truth, even when crushed to the earth by unconstitutional laws, will rise again, and no lie can live forever. Justice will be served. I guarantee you. And if you need a sign of hope that things can change, just look at what happened in North Carolina 2 days ago. If there's one bright spot in the 2016 election, it's this. Because earlier this year, if you remember, Governor Pat McCrory signed House Bill 2, a bill fundamentally denying trans people of the right to use the bathroom of their identity across the state, and a law which prohibited any locality from passing a non-discrimination law. Look at the backlash that followed. North Carolina lost $500 million because performing artists and sports teams and musicians all stood together and said enough. We will not be a part of legalized discrimination. And when Governor McCrory would not relent and stubbornly stood by his law, even through the gubernatorial debate declaring, look out, trans people are going to use the bathroom, the voters of North Carolina themselves said enough. And largely because of that law 2 days ago, he was voted out. And so this discriminatory law will be short-lived, just like any discriminatory law will be short-lived. If we have hope, and if we stick together, we will make it through whatever iniquity the government tries to force on us. I promise it. And let this election be the moment, not that we slink away and declare defeat and say we have lost, but rather let it be a rallying cry where we show the country that no matter how much they try to get rid of us, we're not going anywhere. And so I say to everyone tonight, walk together. Stand up against oppression together. And do not let our opposition make you feel weary and hopeless. Every time they cry move, you cry, I will not be moved. Every time they cry out disappear, you cry out, I exist. And every time they cry out silence, you cry out justice.